Good morning. Thank you for joining us for AM Rockland. My name is Tom Osa, and you are listening to Rockland News' morning show. We started about 2 weeks ago just to deliver to you the news, the weather, the traffic, and some interesting commentary from our elected officials, as well as very interesting people across Rockland County. We put together some radio blurbs for this Tuesday morning, May 27th, and here we go. First of all, if you're interested in local history, Camp Shanks Museum is open by appointment only from Tuesday, May 27th through Saturday, May 31st. To schedule a visit, call Director John Gray at 845 304 6809. And that is in the town of Orangetown. Also in the town of Orangetown, they will hold public hearings on June 10th and June 24th to discuss proposed amendments to the town code. Topics include landlord registry, noise regulations, and accessory structures. Details and meeting schedules are available on the town's website. On May 9th, Supervisor Kenny joined the NYPD and Orangetown PBA to honor police officer Michael Buzek, who was killed in the line of duty in 1988. A plaque dedication took place at the Duncan in Pearl River, owned by the Buzek family. Supervisor Kenny and local officials celebrated the grand opening of Data Bank in Orangeburg. The new data center is expected to generate over $41 million in economic benefits over the next decade. Supervisor Kenny joined 388 others in running the first ever Piermont Fire Department 5K, supporting multiple local fire departments and the South Orangetown Ambulance Corps. Congrats to race director Raymond Fusco for a successful event. Supervisor Kenny also joined other town supervisors for a panel discussion on government and public policy at Leadership Rockland, tackling local key issues and handling community questions. In Suffern, join Mayor Curley and the village board for the Suffern Memorial Day Parade. Well, this actually happened already, Monday, May 26th at 11 a.m. It began at the A Lot and it ended at the Monument by Sacred Heart Church. A community barbecue was followed in the gazebo right across the street from Sacred Heart, and there was no rain, so we didn't have to worry about that. But wait, there's more. On May 29th, the Suffern Carnival rolls into town. May 29th through June 1st at the Suffern Ball Fields. And don't forget the Spring Fling Dance for Suffern's 5th grade graduates on June 6th at the Community Center. There's a dance for 5th grade graduates? Wow, amazing. We didn't get our first dance until like college. Okay, Yoga in the Park begins June 2nd, Mondays at 6:30 p.m. at the Gazebo in Suffern. Pool registration starts on June 11th with the Memorial Pool opening on June 28th. Visit the Suffern Recreation Department for dates and details. Turning our sights to Ramapo, Supervisor Michael Specht spoke on economic development at the RBA's Bagels and Briefing. On May 18th, he joined the annual Parade of Unity, celebrating Haitian culture in Spring Valley alongside Human Rights Commissioner Spencer Chimbwe. May 27th is Grievance Day in Ramapo. That's the last day to file property assessment complaints. Visit ramapo.org for forms and to book appointments. Enhanced STAR applications for 2025 and 2026 are also now available. Ramapo PD offers active shooter training, scam avoidance for seniors, and safety lessons for kids. Call 845 357 2400 to schedule a session. Free reflectors are available at Town Hall for safer night travel. Turning to Clarkstown, Supervisor George Holman marked National EMS Week with proclamations for local responders. At the town board meeting, Clarkstown held its first annual Women of Distinction ceremony, recognizing 6 local leaders for outstanding community service. And the Parks and Rec job fair for Clarkstown is May 29th, and Coffee with the Supervisor is coming up May 31st at the Coffee Maker in New City. Evening town clerk hours are June 3rd and June 24th. Plus, enjoy street fairs in Nanuet this coming June 1st and in New City on June 8th. Clarkstown joined a touching ceremony where a veteran was gifted a car through the Vets Helping Vets program. And remember, watch out for nesting turtles crossing Western Highway in Blauvelt this May and June. In Haverstraw on Monday, May 26th at 11 a.m., the annual Memorial Day ceremony was held at Mount Repose, and it was hosted by Leo Ladders American Legion. Leo Laders American Legion, my apologies. On Thursday, May 29th, there's also the Watchfire ceremony, which is happening at Bowline Point Park, beginning at 11 p.m. That's this Thursday, May 29th. And finally, Senator Bill Weber welcomed students to Albany for the Names Not Numbers Holocaust Remembrance Project. He also hosted Rockland's Indian community and honored EMS volunteers. At the Larissa Karasik Foundation's fundraiser, he reminded residents to plan ahead this Memorial Day and not drink and drive. That is all the news that we have at the moment. And again, there were many Memorial Day ceremonies that happened across Rockland, as you note. Let me give you the weather real quick. So we mentioned on the Friday show that it was going to be sunny throughout the weekend. It was one of those miracles where at the beginning of the week, it was all like rainy, it was going to happen. Then all of a sudden we get to Friday and everything clears up. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen for the rest of the week, but let me just tell you the weather. Tuesday, 73 degrees. It's going to be cloudy. Tomorrow, pretty much the same thing. Wednesday, cloudy, 65 degrees. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's going to rain. 66 degrees, 69 degrees, and 68 degrees Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're going to get a reprieve again with a little bit of a higher sunshine and temperature, 65 degrees, 71, and finally on Tuesday, 77 degrees, mostly sunny and or partially cloudy, depending upon your personal demeanor at 7:42 a.m. I don't know. And we have, I guess the last thing to mention is that we'll have our guest host, Mike Kluger, back on. As I mentioned many times, I can't do this alone. So he's going to be hopping back onto the show at some point this week. We should have a few guests on the show as well. I spoke with Town of Haverstraw Supervisor Howard Phillips. He's definitely into hopping back on the show. We'll see if we could get George Holman, possibly Ed Day. I got to swing by over at the county executive's office to see if this is doable. I spoke with their team last week. So, and again, the objective here, boring as it may be, is for those of you that were listening to WRCR AM 1700, because they recently are in the process of a sale to Big Apple Media Group. Let me just go pick that up. There is a nifty little FCC guide that we will post over to rocklandsnews.com. There's an FCC guide that indicates how everything's going. And just so that everybody knows, and I reported this last Wednesday, the sale isn't done yet. I mean, likely it's going to be sold and that's it. But you have to go through, and I didn't know about this, neither did Rockland Biz Journal. They were the ones that first reported the sale. It's not approved yet. It has to go through FCC approval, and it literally takes 3 months in order for this to happen. So that is in process, and in the meantime, there is no local news that's being broadcast on the AM 1700 frequency. It is AM 770, which is what Big Apple Media, but basically the ones that own AM 770, they're simulcasting onto AM 1700. So in the meantime, we're going to be loading it up with all of the news that is beneficial to each of you, and I'm hoping it's going to be useful. I do have to mention all of our many sponsors that hopped on for doing this inaugural set of episodes. Yabu Fence, Kobe Sushi, Susan Bova, Sparkling Clean Homes, Patriot Lounge, FZ Perfection, Kumo Sushi, Banchetto Feast, Outsource My IT, Clean Space, Maintenance Management, North Rockland Chiropractic, Pancake Factory. I mean, the list just goes on and on. St. Thomas Aquinas College, they're on board with this. So, yeah, we're just going to keep it going, and we're going to make it valuable and useful. And as I mentioned, we're going to, when we're doing these news blurbs, because I got a lot of things to do, I'm sure you got a lot of things to do. The main ones are just going to be like about 10 or 15 minutes, just so that you have the information and you can get going. For instance, Rockland road conditions. And I'm headed over there right now because that will tell you how things are going on the roads, Palisades Parkway and the Thruway. There's a little thing about the turnabouts on there. May 25th. Okay, so it looks like everything is clear right now. And if anything happens, we will certainly notify you on our Facebook page for Rockland News. So that's all for now. Thank you, everybody that has been supporting this effort. Like I said, we're charging up the hill, we're planting the flag, and we're staying there. That is it. So thanks for joining us for another episode of AM Rockland, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.